널 기다렸어.
Trust wins this game. He's also confirmed to be out of the group. If Gumiho wins it, he won't be out yet. He'll need one more win, but very, very close. If Gumiho beats Trust, he'll be the only person to do so tonight.
Yeah.
If Trust wins, it will secure his spot in first place because he will grab that 4th away win.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is that if Gumiho wins 2 more, he essentially secures his spot, especially if SOS loses 1 in the meantime. And then we might just end there because nobody else can overtake Classic Trust and Gumiho at that point if Gumiho gets up to 6 wins.
Yeah, that's basically, when everyone's losing like this, 6 wins is the number. If you get 6, you're out. So 3 players get 6, no one can pass them. It's just physically impossible. We move on with our lives, and the group ends.
Yeah. So Trust, he's looking a little bit, I don't know.
He's been kind of looking like this all night, though, you know? Like,
it's obvious he's putting a lot of pressure on himself to do well today, and it's working. So I don't care what he looks like. Just do what you're doing, Trust. I'm not going to comment on it anymore. Look frustrated, pissed, sick. I don't care.
This is the Gumiho oven mitt style that we're seeing here coming out. All right, guys, let's go into set number 20.
Here we are on Frost, and Gumiho, well, that was not a very good introduction, but there he is, Gumiho in the red. I was going to say Gumiho picks this map again against the Protoss.
And up to the top right, his opponent, it is Trust. 5-0, the big dark horse of the group, destroying everyone, pulling a TY.
He's the story, you know, of this entire group. The other story is that SOS is like the negative story versus the positive story. SOS is the negative one, where we thought he was going to do great, and he just really, I don't know, shot himself in the foot or, you know, in the head, as his picture indicates. So, I mean, he's just really not been having the best day. But Trust, man, he's on a roll, and it's just through solid play. It's not flukes. You can't win 5 games in a row like this against this caliber of player over flukes.
Yeah,
you know, it's well-prepared builds, good timings, good macro play, too.
It looks like he's playing as if he lost today, his life would be over.
And you know what?
It's not over, man.
Well,
he did a cool build here. He goes and scouts and pulls out of gas, mining only 8 gas before getting that Nexus. So he gets a faster Nexus on this 4-player map. He's got cross-spawned. It's a good opening.
Yeah. I was going to go down the dark path from that and say, like, Trust doesn't play in Pro League, right? I don't think
he hasn't.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure where he's at in the GSL, if he qualified for Code A or if he made it into Code S. I'm honestly not 100% sure. This is his StarCraft life on the line, right?
Let's be real, man.
He is playing for his life right here. He's a professional gamer.
Let's be real, though. I think he's in these 5 games alone, now going to our 6th. He's already overtaken both Lenok and Lucera, and he may be now the new 4th KT player. If he can continue to play like this in best of ones, and I'm hot forever, man, I'm saying, hell yeah, we're trying him on day 1.
Yeah. It's interesting for KT because then they'll have 3 top Protoss players and 1 top Terran, and then that will be their lineup, right?
Well, it's
3
like
Protosses, but
it's something that can be a weakness. It's a lot of people argue that's why one of the reasons why SKT ended up losing the finals to KT is because they were too reliant on their Protoss players, Classic, Parting, and Rain, and you know, it's one of those things that makes her roster really lopsided. But I think that from what we've seen from him today, if he can continue to play at this level, he has, in my mind, already surpassed both Lenok and Lucera by miles. Like, his play today has been godlike.
I agree.
And this is best of ones. This is basically the Pro League format. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, generally for Pro League, you're only playing 1. If you're going into all-kill format, and let's say Trust comes out here, it's going to be something similar to this, except you're playing them in a row. Right? It's similar, though. It's very, very similar in the fact that it's best of ones. You're facing very strong opponents out here in Korea.
This is like up to 10 times as hard, 10 times as many games as what you would face in Pro League.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's got builds prepared for every opponent, every map, is still very impressive. Now, he's taken this risk and gone for the quick Nexus, is transitioning into standard play. Gumiho is yet again going to go double Cyclone. Something we haven't really talked about the Cyclone is it is a very powerful unit, but it also has a decently quick move speed. So he's using these Cyclones like Hellions that can be used later on. Hellions, obviously, if you use them to scout and go across the map, they can move quickly. But you're better off just using a Reaper. This is like a scouting unit that can also kill units and encounters. If it runs into an Adept in the middle of the map, the Adept dies. Or a Mothership Core or anything like that. So it's like a better scout. Gonna come up here and poke.
I'm still not sold on it, though, you know. It's not that cheap. It's kind of clunky if you don't find much.
He's going to go for this Mothership Core. And
he is going to find much. He's going to find a lot.
He might get it. 2 more shots. Do it. Oh! Wow. Huge mistake there. Absolutely could have gotten it. Would have been worth it, even if he lost that Cyclone.
Yeah, I mean, you could have even sacrificed it. It's an expensive unit, but...
This is still a big win. The Mothership Core is never going to regen those health. It's funny because if Trust had like a little bit more money in the early game, he might want to kill that Mothership Core to get a new one that's at full health to build more energy, because it's like so snipeable
the
now.
Troll strat. I need a full health Mothership Core.
You can't have 2 of them, so it's funny, but like
maybe later on in the game for sure. Like
I've seen people do this because it actually matters. If you get the thing down to like 10 health, what was it, 20 health that we just saw there?
Something like that.
It dies so fast to anything that you don't even have time to use your overcharges.
10 health on that Mothership Core. He's going to take an early third, too. This is going to finish up, and Gumiho, kind of the theme for him is that he doesn't take the fastest third bases regardless of the map. He's played a lot on Dust Towers. He's played, I think, just once here on Frost.
Well, he's kind of just doing the same thing every time with different variations of stim timings. This time he has it a little bit faster, and he's going to go move across the map. Unfortunately for him, this is a very big map, a much larger map than any of the other maps he's pushed across. The Cyclone is still alive here. Obviously, he can come in and go for follow-up. Looks like he's actually having it over here to hunt the Prism, but it's not going to happen. It's actually just barely going to miss it. Strategic location, but unlucky.
Cool idea by Gumiho, you know?
But this attack, is it going to work? I don't know. I mean, he has a lot of units on the ground. Thermal Gateway's not quite yet ready yet. 4, in fact.
Mothership Core is still at the natural, but he's got some Stalkers and Sentries here. He could force field.
And these units do not have combat shields. They only have stim. There's only 2 medevacs here. There's actually a huge commitment to gateways, the glaives, and the +1, though, for Trust. I think if he holds this, with that Prism, we're going to see an attack. And again, just barely out of vision.
Maybe he wants to shut it down hard. And he has this Warp Prism here, too, to go for the massive Warp Ins with all those gateways. So really wants to punish Gumiho for being out on the map. It's a really big map. It's going to be hard to get back and defend.
He's like, oh,
I like the idea.
You don't even have a 3rd CC. And you're trying to do this against me at cross spawns. This pylon's going to spot a drop or an attack here. He has to kill it to even pass through. Medevac just barely out of range there.
Yeah.
Unfortunate story.
Trust is very happy right now. You basically said it. But to put it into simpler terms, it's like he sees that, he is rejoicing at the moment. And
this is a cute move. Probably going to grab 3 kills.
And a sentry? No, not quite.
Just 2. But look, here's the warp in the main. This is what I'm talking about. As soon as the army is spotted, you said this as well earlier, as soon as the army is spotted, he has all these gateways to warp in with. Widowmine actually going to go off here, but he will teleport out. Now actually going to be able to deny that 3rd CC.
Denies that, comes in.
Oh, he's
targets a supply depot. That's not where you want to be.
He's worried about this attack over here. Decent force fields, but there's no units.
Where are the Stalkers? Really nice force fields to keep stuff alive, but he is going to lose all these sentries. The Stalkers come late to the party. He will eventually clean it up.
This Prism will go down. He has a second one to the north of the natural. He never forced to cancel on that CC. However, the CC, if you look at the production tab, just started being rebuilt, so it lost a lot of production time. If he forced a CC cancel, he would have been like so solid in this game despite those losses. As it is, this game is pretty even because of all the damage Gumiho just did.
Yeah, and these are the small mistakes that I noticed from Trust, the small mechanical ones where he right-clicks on the supply depot or he, misclicks move commands for a slight moment, If he can nail out those small details, he's going to be a fantastic player.
I feel like, we were talking about how he looked kind of the same all day, but you mentioned specifically before this game he looked really nervous. I think he's facing the pressure of, oh my god, I'm going to be in Star League. If I win one more game, that's all it takes. And this is the game he has to win right now. Even if he loses this, he's still almost guaranteed in. But I think the pressure of, okay, just one more is maybe mounting a little bit here. He also had a very long break since his last game.
It's true.
A 5-game break since the last group.
And a lot of his games are towards the end here as well. So we'll see what this Warp Prism is going to do, though, as it comes into the natural. We're going to look at some Stalkers over there. But here comes the Warp Prism.
Okay, here we go. Down comes some Adepts. He's going to do a big warp in 8 more. All of these have +1 armor and +1 attack.
So many Adepts. You can fight against a small number of bio, too.
He can actually fight this for sure. He just needs to avoid the Widow Mines.
He looks like he's going to eat one shot, splitting it up nicely. Okay, the SCV is going to come back.
Killing a decent amount of Marines and SCVs here, doing some nice micro on the weakened Adepts, and getting a positive trade, even going to commit to more. This was questionable. There's a lot of bio here.
With
he's
the
got better
medevacs,
upgrades.
It's not really going to work out. Maybe a bit of an overcommitment.
It's still a decent trade.
And he did kill 18 SCVs, so definitely not bad. Down to 36 SCVs is Gumiho.
Gumiho has the bigger army now, but it's not in position for an attack. Only half of it is. Down goes that Warp Prism, which forces a big cancel there. But look at this. This is the problem. Gumiho's army that he has, the army advantage, isn't all together. So this gets shut down. And now it's 4 bases against the 3. It's like almost 3 because Gumiho's just now finally starting to get it back online.
Gumiho needs damage somewhere. Trust is massively ahead in the economy. On the macro side of things, he has an extra base and 30 more workers. Yeah, there are mules, but it doesn't account for 30 workers consistently on an extra base.
And these 35 Marines need to find damage, and the problem is they're on the wrong side of the map. They're scared, they're defensive. Gumiho is not being aggressive enough, and even if he wanted to be, it's cross-spawn, so he has to go all the way across the map. It's almost checkmate we've reached here if Gumiho doesn't find something soon, because he's now going to find himself against Psystorm. 2-2 is finished. I mean, we're going down this path of, you know, no return basically for Gumiho when it comes to tech. This is some nice harassment here.
It looks like he wants to move across the map before any big AoE tech comes down here for Trust, and this is a pretty nice ball of bio. Let me take a look at the upgrades here. It is 1-1 for Terran and 1-2 for Protoss, so Trust is ahead, 1 upgrade.
Gumiho did a huge stim there and didn't commit to the attack. He seems really indecisive right now. The medevacs are still working overtime to get that army healed up. You know, some wasted energy overall. You can see the upgrades at work here, plus the attack speed on the Adepts, how powerful it is. These 2 Widow Mines that we're looking around are cleaned as well, and here we go. Templar on the way, 4 of them. And we do have Storm coming up as well as an additional Warp Prism, which could actually allow Storm drops. Might just be protecting the High Templar for a big fight. This is still a Marine-heavy army. Because of the lack of money, the lack of income Gumiho's had, he has not been able to make as many Marauders as he'd like to.
Yeah, for sure. And I love all these pylons that are out on the map for Trust. He's spotting the drops that come from Gumiho. He knows that Gumiho is a guy that loves to go for Doom drops, to go for big moves like that, and he needs vision all across the map, especially on a map this big. So he's been really on top of that. Every time they go down, he replaces them with more. And Gumiho's just stuck in the middle of the map. He keeps scanning, getting rid of the observers. It looks like he wants to go for a drop and try to split up Trust, but he's not finding an angle.
You know, this is, like, I feel like this is one of his last chances. I'm looking at the mini-map, he might even be pulling SCVs. Something's coming along there. Would be surprised.
Oh, it's just a lot of bio. Tons of bio.
I mean, look, he's up 25 army supply.
Storm
is done. Here we go. Good splits here already, actually, from Gumiho, and he's going to commit in, but here come the Storms. 1, 2, 3.
Still a lot more bio, though, in the back.
Yeah, he needs more Storms, and there aren't any.
He's got some Immortals, but this is still a really nice concave from Gumiho. This is a very close fight.
Okay, another Immortal is coming down here, and 1 Adept coming from behind as well. Widow Mine's getting decent shots. He needs more Storms. I think he's going to die here.
Looks like he is.
Going to win it.
That Liberator getting so much damage that entire fight. And with a lot of these medevacs still alive, he's going to be able to heal this bio. And Trust doesn't have much.
He has almost 4 times the size of his army, and there's not a single High Templar here. That's game over. That's game over.
Done it. He's taken out Trust.
He's going to kill this Nexus and jump into the main base, kill that Nexus as well. Okay, maybe getting these medevacs might not be the best idea. Could probably just stay on the ground.
I like that he's going to group up here with the rest of his bio. Come in here, try to attack. He does have a lot of energy on these medevacs, but he's trying to get into a position where he can fight against this. More and more Adepts and Stalkers coming through, though.
He needs all of his units together, but I just can't imagine a world where he loses this game now. Look at the army supply. It's like...
Well, Trust is holding on, and if he can get a lot more Templar out now that he's finished Storm, that first fight, those were the only Templar he had, right? But now he's going to have 4.
And also, 2 of those storms were stacked on top of each other. Third one was half stacked. The fourth one was good.
Wasn't the best fight. And if he can delay for more of these storms to come out, maybe he holds on.
He needs to delay, though, and he's not. Okay, storm's almost ready on these Templar. 4 of them almost about to come off.
There it is. Okay, it's up. All of them have storm now.
Gotta be careful.
And immediately Gumiho backs off. That's so smart.
He can see. He knows.
Yeah.
Okay, this game is still winnable by Trust.
Yeah.
He has no observer, so he can't even fight that zone. I think it's time to drop another Nexus. Gumiho has replaced his main base into the 4th base location, so he has a 4th base mining now. He's again trying to bait these units into the Widow Mines. Oh my god.
So scary.
He sees them. You can see them over the ground.
If he walks those High Templars into the Widow Mines, that's like it.
Oh my god, I thought he was baiting. I guess he didn't know.
Well, he does save the last of his Stalkers. Ooh, nice run by here into the 3rd base. Going to snipe what's left mining here.
What's going up there at the top? I'm not sure. I think a Warp Prism might have just died. I don't know.
Stuff's coming in here to try to punish this 4th base. And that army on the right side has not been cleaned up. Oh, trying to get that. Oh, he just barely misses the High Templar.
Okay, this Nexus survives for now.
Big drop into the natural. There's not much
mining here. He just doesn't have enough, man.
Yeah.
It's just not enough.
He's desperately trying to hold on. He needed this Nexus, but he's been pulled apart too much. It looks like Gumiho's style has just gotten the Trust.
I think he just made too many mistakes in that first fight and couldn't make Templar fast enough. His bio is just too much.
It was a fantastic timing by Gumiho, too. It looks like he had a nice read on what Trust was doing back in space.
The Artosis pylon, oh no! All right, well... I mean, he had an economy lead, so the first time this happened, when it was Gumiho's army was too big, he was able to make units and recover. This time, no. This time he's not going to recover.
GG. That's it. Gumiho takes a win, and Trust takes his first loss. Very nice win for Gumiho. Taking out the recently undefeated, now has 1 loss Trust, means that Gumiho has a lot easier matches coming up ahead.
But now both
makes it easier for him to qualify.
Gumiho and Trust are on their match point for getting to the group. If either of them take a win, they will advance. But Gumiho's not playing until set 22. Curious versus Hurricane is going to be the next matchup. If either of them lose, they're out. It doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to play any more games. Then Gumiho versus SOS will occur. If Gumiho wins, he will actually advance along with Classic. If he loses, SOS still has a chance. Gumiho will still have a chance as well.
I guess that's the deciding game then, right? I mean,
no, wait, Trust still has to play more games too, though. So Trust...
That's true.
Trust will play in set 24. So we're going all the way to set 24 no matter what. Next map being set 21, just to give that reference. So that could be the cutoff point, potentially. But anyone in this group